G'day guys, this is Ragnarok here. Basically today I'm going to show you the affliction changes in the beta right now. Some really cool new spells to show you, very exciting stuff. If you have been following the affliction beta changes lately, well there's some even newer changes in here that have happened since beta last week, for example. We got some new spells never seen before, and we've got new talents never seen before, including Drain Soul. Yes, if you love that Drain Soul and you didn't want it to go away, you still have it if you talent into it. So first of all, I'm going to show you the basically spellbook specs, and then I'll show you the talents, and then I'll show you how we can apply those talents on the training dummy. So right now you still got your Agony, does the same thing. Chance to generate a shard, cool. Corruption, same thing. Last 14 seconds now, a bit shorter than before. Alright, and you got your Hellstone, Soulwell. This is a talent, we'll get to that later. And we got all these other spells. Basically, Drain Life, just remember it's been nerfed slightly. Used to do 600% health, now it's only 500%. We've got Drain Soul. Now, it's a talent, but I'm going to tell you something right now. It's similar in a way, and it's different in a way as well. You can make it similar by choosing specific talents where it will not only help you execute, basically it's the way the old Drain Soul worked. It executed, meaning if they're below 20% health, it would do way more damage, and it looks like double damage here, 100% more damage. So you also get a Soul Shard if the target dies, so it's a good way to get a Soul Shard back, especially in places like PvP or a boss fight with lots of ads. Easy Soul Shards for the Affliction Locker who's got Drain Soul. It does replace Shadow Bolt though, so if you love the Shadow Bolt, don't pick the talent, but if you love Drain Soul, pick the talent obviously. It doesn't heal you the way before. Notice you got Drain Life here as well, so now they're two separate spells. If you want the healing, you've actually got a Drain Life, which I think is a good thing. Makes you think a bit more. It's not as easy as Legion. I feel like they made too many spells into one with Drain Soul, but I'm glad they're keeping a similar option here for people who got too used to that spell and liked it. So Enslaved Demon does pretty much the same thing. Basically, ignore the level 57. I'm pretty sure it works on anything your level and lower. I have Kill Rog, still very useful. Not. It used to see invisible things, but now I don't think it even does that. You got your Fear, you got your Health Funnel, you got Mortar Coil, and you got your Summoning, Seed of Corruption, Shadow Fury, Soulstone, Spell Lock if you got the Fel Guard. Now here, this is a new spell, and it's a cooldown, a big cooldown. Basically what it does, it extends the life of all your dots by 8 seconds when you summon this guy. Even better, it's an instant cast. Even better, it's kind of like the old Dark Lair and Demonology and Legion, where if you had Doom on everything, it'll literally zap every single target you had Doom on. Same deal here. Got dots on everything, summon this fella out, bam, he'll do a ton of damage, and the more dots you have on it, 10% more damage for each dot you have. So yeah, really cool. If you get 5 UAs on a target, whack this guy out, boom, you can really take advantage of that extra damage you get out of those 5 UAs. So yeah, I'll show you that later. So you still got your same 4 traditional demons, that's all good, no big changes there. Unending Breath, swim speed and water breathing. Unending Resolves, you cool down basically for defense, and immune to silence and interrupts. Unstable Affliction, a few small little changes here. Basically you deal 10% increased damage to targets affected by your Unstable Affliction, so it's similar to that talent they had in Legion where if you chose it 15% more damage was done. This basically does that by default now, except it's nerfed to 10% damage. So it's worth spreading these Unstable Afflictions around if you're multi-dotting, but also it does refund you a Soul Shard if the target dies, so remember that as well. If it's got a UA on it, expect a Soul Shard back if it dies with it on, so good to know. It's just more Soul Shards. Vile Taint, this is a talent, but it's also a new spell. Basically it's an AoE. Erupts a pool under the target location, deals damage to everything within 10 yards for 10 seconds and reduces their movement speed by 30%. So I can see this used in Mythic Plus, PvP, AoE fights. You know, it's wherever you want it. I've seen some Warlocks do some pretty awesome damage with this in the dungeon so far, so yeah, pretty fun talent to play around with once you guys get your hands on it. Alright, so that's pretty much all the spells. Oh, I'll just show you what Mastery does in case you don't know. Basically increases the damage of all your dots, including Vile Taint and Seed of Corruption. So more Mastery equals more dot damage. So I think it will be a very strong stat to have once again. Now we'll just go into the talents. Alright, first tier. We got this spell called Death Bolt. You may have seen it if you've seen the beta videos. If not, it's a brand new spell in BFA. Basically what it does is it does 30% of the total remaining damage of the dots on the target. So basically, best way to apply it, put your dots up. If your agony's at max stacks and you whack a whole bunch of unstable afflictions on it, just whack one of these bad boys out and it will nuke. It's like, it'll hit harder than a Chaos Bolt or a Demon Bolt. It hits really hard if you do it right. It does have a cooldown though, so you got to plan around it. You don't want to waste it when you got just Agony and Corruption on it, for example. You only want to use it if you got a lot of UAs to basically take advantage and optimize your damage well. Haunt, little change here. It's still pretty weak. It's only a 10% damage buff, but it lasts 15 seconds and the cooldown is 15 seconds. So off cooldown you can use this and the debuff will always stay on if you choose to play in that way. Shadow Embrace does a very similar thing. Basically Drain Soul or Shadow Bolt, depending if you take this talent or not, it increases the damage dealt to the target by 3% for 10 seconds, which stacks up to 3 times. So 3 times meaning 10%, not 9%. So basically, this is very easy to use with Drain Soul because it stacks per tick of the Drain Soul, so it's way quicker to ramp up. Whereas Shadow Bolt will literally take 3 casts of Shadow Bolt to get it up there, and you have to make sure you keep casting Shadow Bolt to keep it at the 3 stacks, otherwise it will start all over again. Next tier, basically Sif on Life's on here now. I think it's an appropriate place for it to be. You could call it your dot tier. You either buff one of your main dots or get another dot. Pretty simple. These two talents are relatively the same, so is Sif and Life. This tier is also very similar. Dark Pack, sorry. Probably I should let you know of the change. It sacrifices 20% of your current health, not your demons, your health, and that's current health, not max health. So the most optimal time to use this is at full health. It's only 250% of the sacrifice health, not 400% like it was before on the pet. Basically you use it the same way as you did before, but maybe use it at the start of a fight before you're about to take a ton of damage, so you get a much larger shield than you would at low health, for example. Otherwise, yeah, you have the speed buff if you prefer more speed, or demon skin if you prefer something a bit easier and passive to deal with. Tier 60, basically AoE talent. So you got Sow the Seeds. It's been nerfed a little bit, only 1 additional nearby enemy instead of 2. Phantom Singularity does pretty much the same things, an extra dots and AoE. AoE's around the target, and it also gives you some healing back as well. And Vile Taint, that's the new spell I explained before. It's like a slow AoE, only a 10-yard radius, not huge AoE, but still handy in PvP, and it's got a really short cooldown of 15 seconds. But it does cost a Soul Shard, and it is a 1.4 second cast. It's not an instant cast like Phantom Singularity, so just be aware of that. Much shorter cooldown though, so it's good to use. Next is basically utility tier. So you got Mortar Coil, basically your health, and your free Horrify / Fear thing that doesn't share a DR with Fear, which makes it amazing. You've also got Demonic Circle. Yeah, it's 2 spells now. Awesome. Some people might have already known that. It's been like that since Alpha / Beta. So if you like that, that's great. If you don't, well, bad luck. Dark Fury, that reduces the cooldown of your Shadow Fury stun by 15 seconds, so by default it's 1 minute. You can make it 45 seconds if you want, if you like to use that utility more. Next tier, a little bit different to what you might remember. The only thing that's the same is Grimoire Sacrifice, so those people that hate pets but love Warlocks, that's your talent to go to. If you love Drain Soul, hate Shadow Bolt, choose Drain Soul. If you love Shadow Bolt, choose Nightfall, because Corruption has a chance to reset the cooldown of Shadow Bolt, which is really awesome when it procs, because it just nuke. Yeah, because Shadow Bolt's got a pretty annoying cast time. Yeah, 1.8 seconds, which is quite long. So I think most people will be choosing the Drain Soul option just because it stacks up with this better as well. But with the Death Bolt build, you might prefer the Shadow Bolt build. Last year, Soul Conduit does pretty much the same thing. 15% chance instead of 20 though. Creeping Death does basically what that legendary did with the Agony ramping up quicker, except this does it to all your dots, including Siphon Life, so that's pretty awesome. Only downside is it's more micromanaging. You got to refresh your dots a lot more. But if you can keep up with that micromanagement, then you're good. Your damage will definitely be much better. And it's good that it ramps up faster with this talent as well, for example. That way you can get that 15 stacks much quicker. And then you've got a brand new cooldown. It's basically a mini Bloodlust. 30% haste, 20 seconds. Pretty awesome thing to have. So you could have Bloodlust and use this at the same time for an insane amount of haste. Or you could use Bloodlust and then use this straight after it to take advantage of a longer period of 30% haste, because yeah, having this and Bloodlust at the same time might be too hard to deal with. Alright, PvP talents. Is your utility, basically same as before, and then your other ones you choose from all your class specific honor talents. Pretty much it's all the same talents that you had in Legion. Some are slightly tweaked here and there, but all relatively the same. I just choose Rotten Decay just because it helps refresh dots, makes questing out in the world a bit easier, and world PvP makes you a bit more competitive, and it stacks well with Vest and Strange. Basically I use Soul Shatter just for the fun of it. It's definitely not the strongest spell on this tier. You're better off using a Curse or Endless Affliction or something. But they're there, and you got to have War Mode on to use those in the world, so just be aware of that. Cool. Now that that's all said and done, we'll go and test some spells on the dummies. So what we'll do, I'll show you Death Bolt just because it's cool. I'll show you Vile Taint. I should probably put that on my buzz. Yep. And what else can I show you? Well, you know pretty much everything else. Nightfall might proc. I'll show you this as well. So basically, here we go. We dot up the target. Let's just whack Agony on everything because it's cool, and we get more soul shards. See, those purple things is basically a free Shadow Bolt. Yeah, the more corruptions you have out, the more Shadow Bolt procs you're gonna get. Pretty straightforward how you use that. A good way to spread corruption actually is just Seed of Corruption. Use that, bam. Keep your affliction, your agonies up. So now we're just gonna spam UA. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna get our big ass Dark Lair out, and we're gonna Death Bolt and see what that does. Oh, look at that, it's instacast. I didn't know that. I didn't even realize that before. And yeah, that done a ton of damage. Okay, we're doing about 5k damage, which is a lot for Affliction. It doesn't seem like a lot if you're playing Legion, but trust me, it's pretty decent. So on a target timing, and I've got my stupid pet on passive, so yeah, that's not even including pet damage there. So that's basically a good way to use these cooldowns if you'd summon Dark Lair and your Death Bolt. And yeah, it's an instant cast now. It used to be a cast, so that's good news for those people who want to use it. It looks like the cooldown's shorter too. It used to be 45 seconds, now it's only 30 seconds. So yeah, pretty exciting times for Affliction. Bam, so much better. Now we get a Soul Shard, and we'll use Vile Taint. It's cast time, cast on target, and you see that it's basically, it's like a dot in a way actually. Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like a disease on Unholy Death Knight. It just sort of spreads to targets around it. I wonder if the target moved around, would it spread like that? Probably not. It's probably wherever it's standing at the time, I'd imagine. But yeah, pretty cool spell. So now if I dismiss my pet so I can get out of combat, I'll just show you how Drain Soul build basically works. So if you did choose Drain Soul, I probably wouldn't go Death Bolt. Well, you could if you wanted to, but I just want to show you the Shadow Embrace just because it works really well with Drain Soul. So if you like the traditional Drain Soul, which buffs your dots up, this basically syncs with this really well. Synergizes, you know what I'm about to say. So we'll get some dots up, and then we'll Drain Soul. What do you know? And you can see this little buff over here. Basically that's, well, debuff. Basically what that's doing is just buffing my damage. Oh, I was wrong. It is 9%. It's not 10%. But yeah, I'll make sure I cast that just before it expires, just to keep it up at 3 stacks. And yeah, it's kind of micromanagey, but I'm sure you guys will easily do it. Drain Soul. Shadow Bolt, it'd probably be a bit too hard. You're better off going Death Bolt build. Anyways, hopefully I've shown you all you need to know. I'll make a destruction video soon. Hit a like, and I'll make one. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.